Things start off in the Japan Football Union Board meeting. Newest member and representative of the Blue Lock Initiative, Terry Henry, facing off with the financial investors and members of the Japan Football Union, trying to get the room to understand why Blue Lock is the key to get Japan's football out of the state of mediocrity. Terry's fervor to elevate Japanese football and take it to new heights is being disregarded by those who are more concerned with the money that the sport currently is generating. The special advisor to the Japan Football Association even went so far as to ask a rhetorical question: do you truly believe that Japan has any chance of winning? Henry believes that the shareholders are solely focused on their financial gains and not on their genuine passion for the sport of football. However, Henry disagrees with this approach and insists on prioritizing victory above all else, which can only be achieved through Ego's innovative Blue Lock program. At the conclusion of the Blue Lock qualifier game of tag, the newly minted initiates of Blue Lock are silent and serving each other confused looks as a bloodied and confused Kira lies on the floor. He gives his former ally Isaki the puppy dog eyes and asks, "What are you doing? Am I bleeding?" And more of the same. The post-win clarity starts hitting Isaki like Truck Kun when he tries to explain that he didn't know why he kicked the ball instead of anything else. But Kira cuts him off and calls him on his bullshit. Kira seen the look in Isaki's eyes and witnessed the birth of his Black Air Force energy when Isaki kicked the ball in his goddamn face. Their exchange is interrupted by Ego and his slow clap as he congratulates all the players who passed the entrance match while calling Kira a loser and kicking him out in the same breath. The other players watch Ego's announcement wash over Kira. His anger boils over, and he starts to yell about how him losing his career over a stupid game of tag is bullshit, and that he is the crowning jewel of Japan. Ironic, since Ego considers them all jewels in need of shaping. Why should he have to leave over a game of tag? What does tag have to do with soccer? Ego calmly explains to all the diamonds in the rough that every aspect of living here, from the drills they run to the way they live during their downtime, is handcrafted to have something to do with soccer. The room they are standing in is the same size as the penalty area on the field, as roughly 75% of all goals made in the game are done in this area. And if you can't perform your job within the space, then you suck as a striker. If you don't have the ball, you'll need the spatial awareness and tactics in order to get the ball in your possession. And if you have the ball, your dribbling needs to be precise and your kicks have to be top tier in order to survive. He goes on to say that because of this, tag makes a great training drill, which subtly calling Kira a bitch in the process. The argument continues as Kira says that 2 minutes is nowhere near enough time to evaluate a player's skill, and Ego counters that a player has an average ball time of 2 minutes and 16 seconds. In that time, each player had plenty of opportunity to get either out of the way of the ball or make someone else not it, and that Kira just sucks since he decided in the last 10 seconds of the match that he already lost. Kira still had a second to react after getting it. Ego points out, but instead of taking that striker's opportunity, he decided to wimp out and accept his loss instead of sticking his foot out a little. Strategy was key in this fight, and Ego points out that both Isaki and Bachara both displayed the dog in them and chose to fight stronger opponents instead of going after the weak. With that, Ego finishes his explanation and give Kira one more lock off. Kira understandably loses his shit and foams at the mouth about how Bachara came out of nowhere with his pass. Tries again to be the good guy, but Kira's facial expression tells Isaki to go duck himself, and he finally leaves. Isaki reflects on how he might have really ended Kira's soccer career and is shaken up by the fact that he doesn't feel bad about it. More than that, the crushing of someone's dream felt really good. Isaki turns his confusion to Bachara and asks him why did he pass the ball. If Isaki wouldn't have kicked it, then Bachara would have lost. Bachara smiles at him and tells him that he knew Isaki would have kicked it by all the Black Air Force energy written on his face. Only results matter in Blue Lock, so Bachara made the insane decision to trust Isaki to make the strike. and they both got to stay. Isiki questions Bachira's sanity, and unknowingly becomes more intrigued by the guy. Igarashi complains that the whole thing is ridiculous, and Ego chimes back in to agree. He continues to talk about how each of those world-class elite players the Diamonds admire place their lives on the line every time they step onto the field. Do they now understand that feeling? Are they scared? Excited? This feeling is their new norm. This feeling is what victory really feels like. Burn this feeling into your brains, and it will nourish your ego, creating the striker you never knew you could be. Everyone in the Rune passes the entrance exam, and from this day forward, they are both roommates and rivals. The next day, Team Z heads off for some training, and Isiki is made painfully aware that he has a lot of catching up to do as he is getting outperformed by Reichai in speed and stamina, while nice guy Kyuan outjumps him by 8 centimeters. The training day ends with a meal, complete with a sad side dish of natto. Night comes and the entire team is asleep except for Isiki. Feeling the gap from earlier, he decides to get some extra training done on the side. Thinking he snuck out alone, a soccer ball and greets the back of his head as Bakira has sniffed him out and wants to join him and train. The impromptu training gives Isiki another chance to ask Bakira about the pass he gave Isiki in tag. The conversation quickly moves from words to footwork as Bakira explains that the monster inside of him tells him how to play and that the monster told him to pass it to Isiki. Bakira gets a flashback about how he and the monster's teamwork works out. The monster told him not to pass, so instead he kept the ball and got it stolen. Still, the faith Bakira has in his monster continues to grow, as strong as ever. Akira explains Isiki has a monster inside of him too, and that's probably why he passed it to him. Again, Isiki is confused, but acknowledges that whatever it is, it stokes the flames within Isiki, driving him to push harder than before. Before he has time to unleash the monster, the bell goes off and they are told to meet up to discuss their new rankings. As the team waits on their ranks, complaints about the shitty living conditions stir. Mostly from Reichai, but the others agree. That's when Ego makes his once again timely entrance into the conversation. He tells the boys that the reason Team Z's living situation is so bad is that they suck and are the lowest rank of the weakest tower. Reichai, of course, states he isn't on the same level as these losers, which naturally instigates the others and they argue over who sucks less. Ego doesn't let that impede his explanations and breaks it down even further. If Team Z wants the 5-star treatment the other teams are getting, well, they're going to have to claw their way up from the dirt. Once Ego completes his quality of life explanation, he tells the striker hopefuls that it's time for the first selection to begin. An interviewer puts his career on the line as he talks to star player Sai Aitoshi about his return to Japan's soccer team after being unable to join the first team in Madrid despite being a top athlete in the Royale youth team. Sai Aitoshi shuts all that noise down and declares over my dead body and states that he'd rather play with German college kids than play with the Pro Japan team. The interviewer's delicate tightrope act continues as he pokes again at the playing for Japan question, asking if Aitoshi would consider playing at the international level with Japan. Sai Aitoshi is over it though and gives the interviewer another no as he rises from his seat. Japan isn't enough of a team for him, and he states he was born in the wrong country after all. The interview is over and Sai goes to leave for the airport when a JFU press conference coincidentally is taking place just down the hall. And wouldn't you know it, Project Blue Lock is the topic. It piques Sai's interest. At the head of the press conference is no other than Terry Henry along with a senior JFU Consol member from the soccer board. They've finished going over their initial overview, but the media doesn't care about any of that. Press swoops in with hard-hitting questions about ruining the dreams and careers of children. Wallet gives the usual corporate answers while trying to contain the situation. Henry scoffs at the thought of lives being ruined and slams her hand on the table. It's simple for Japan to break their limits and win the World Cup. Playing nice with teamwork will not cut it anymore. If the Blue Lock project is going to succeed at the cost of hundreds of dreams to bring home the cup, it's more than worth it. Aitoshi's manager urges him to move to the airport, But Sai tells him to cancel as the fire has been lit inside him, and he wants to see the result of Project Blue Lock's experiment. Finally, Team Z walks down the hallway leading to the field to stretch, and Team X makes their intimidating entrance. Isaki doesn't waver though, and only becomes more resolved as the match is about to begin.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you are new to the channel, drop a what up in the comments as you hit the like and subscribe button. New videos are posted every week. Until next time, check out another video. Have a great day and chill cloudy, my friends.